All right, today we're going to talk about cutting losses quickly and why that is important. Cutting losses quickly coming your way and why that is important. All right, we're back. You can see this is TNDM. This is the trade of the day for me. Let's look at a daily chart. You can see this thing, it's had, relative to how it normally trades, yesterday had a huge move from a breakout over 6 all the way up to a little over 7. I actually traded this yesterday, so I made a small win on it. A lot of times the 200 moving average will act as resistance, and you'll see a lot of stocks fail at the 200 moving average. So yesterday I shorted this. I think it's $7.15. Couldn't get through 720, and when it put the lower high in, I got it short at 715, but it really didn't keep breaking down. You see it kind of held that $7 level, or right around the 697 level. So I got out, I think at 7 exactly. Made a small win on it, nothing huge, because I knew that if it held this overnight, it could really go. And you can see that after hours, it tried to gap up after hours, but then this morning it was gapping down, it was failing. So I took that as a sign of weakness, and call it FOMO, call it whatever. I did trade this as soon as the market opened. It popped up, it kind of pulled down. I thought that this thing was going to fail, and so I shorted it, probably with a little too much size, but I told myself I was going to keep a tight stop of anything if it breaks 714, that I was going to hotkey it out and just get out and possibly switch to a long bias for a breakout over yesterday's high over 720. Well, you never know what life's going to throw you, and right at the open, or right after I shorted this thing, my internet connection failed out. All of a sudden, I'm disconnected from my platform. I got no internet on either one of my computers, so I quickly switch my internet connection to a mobile hotspot from my phone. So I connected through my phone on my computer so I could trade from my platform. By the time I got all of that done, or figured out that I had no internet connection, and I tried connecting, and then I went to the mobile hotspot. By the time I got everything back up and running, this thing had broke yesterday's high over 720 and was at 750. And you can see it here. I was at 750, and I didn't want to chase it, because if I was going to buy it, it would have been over 720. But I missed that opportunity, and so I didn't want to chase it, so I had to eat the loss. I cut the loss fast. I didn't want to long it because I didn't want to chase it, so I had to eat a pretty big loss. I ate a loss of $800, which is pretty big for me. I like my losses. I like to keep my losses at least under 200. So $800 is a big loss, and it's also a big win for me too. So right out the gate, I'm down $800 on a technicality issue. But I thought to myself, you know what? I can always reshort this thing later. So I watched it. I thought that 8 might act as resistance. So I was ready to put in a short order at 8. It never even hit 8. So once it put in the lower high, it had a hard slap back from 795 all the way down to 775, 25 cents. It had a little bounce. I got short at 785. It came down and put another lower high in. I think I got short again at 777. It pulled back. It came down here to 740. I think into this candle right here, I covered some. I think at 741 or 740. I covered half my position and put a double bottom in. It started to bounce. When it started to bounce right here, I added back. I doubled my position again at I think it wasn't. I didn't get in this. It's 769 is what it was. I added some at 769, some at 68. I put in a couple of orders. And so I doubled my position size up again, and then I started covering all day. I covered. So let's talk about my covers. I covered some into this flush right here again at 740. It bounced. I covered some more at 730 exactly. You see the triple bottom. I had the order in at 725 because I was looking at the previous day from yesterday, and I was thinking just above 720. 723 is the breakout, so I put it just above it, like 726. So, but it triple bottomed. It put a bottom there, put a bottom there at 730. I was like, you know what? So I got out at 730. So I got out at 730. The second time, whenever I did it right there, I waited for it to come back. Got out right there at 730. Held. Let's see. There we go. Then I watched it consolidate. I actually went into this bounce right here. See this bounce? This bounce VWAP was at 756, I think it was. And I actually had an order in at 755 to add back some more in. So I put the order at 755, didn't get an execution, and so then I ended up adding back in at 744, I think it was. Right in here, 744, I added some more back. Then it came down, and I think I got some, what did I get out? I think I got some more out at, it bottomed out at 712. Bottom at 712. God, what did I get out at? I can't remember exactly. Anyways, I can't remember if I got some out right here or not, but I do remember it bottoming out. I remember it bouncing a little bit, and I remember taking some off at 715 right here, right in this area. At 715, I took some out, and then finally, I had just a few shares left, and I waited, and the rest of it I took out into this little flush right here. I got it out at $6.90, almost bottom ticking it. So this is a great trade. I almost top ticked it. I added in to all these bounces, which is awesome because I'm learning how to add to winners instead of adding to losers. What could have theoretically in the past, whenever I first started trading, I would do stuff like that. I would see an $800 loss, and I would just hold it. And I would just hold it and hope that it would come back. But that is too much stress. That is too much. In this thing, it could have easily have put in the lower high. It could have held its gains and consolidated above VWAP, and it could have took off. And then before you know it, I'm going on a joyride and getting a margin call from my broker, getting covered when I don't want to, or being a bag holder for a month or whatever. But I avoided all of that by just cutting the loss, just getting out. Even though it sucked, even though it was out of my control, that my internet went down, I just bit the bullet and ate the shit, and it ended up paying off because I got really aggressive with these shorts and added into these bounces and covered into the dips, and basically bottom ticked it, which was pretty awesome. So let's see. Yep, lower day was 686, so almost bottom ticked it. Pretty nice. I ended up making back all $800 and then ended up making $400 on the day on this stock. So I made it all back and then ended up green on the day. So all because I cut losses quickly. It saved a lot of stress, and because like I said, these things, it can run. Just because this thing failed today doesn't mean these stocks won't keep going. So you got to cut those losses. Don't be stubborn. I have found that my biggest losses that I've ever taken have been because I got stubborn with the trade. And you don't want to be stubborn. You just want to get the hell out, reshort later. Yeah, and that's that. So, anyways, leave a comment, subscribe, and that's going to do it. Thanks.